Welcome to the case study analysis presented by Group B. My name is Jing'en and my group consists of me, Wei-Neng, Joel, Yuan, and Omar. Let's start by introducing the overview of the business scenario we will be analyzing. The company we are working with is Liberty Sendirian Berhad, which is a company specializing in manufacturing components for food processing machines. It was established in 2022 by David Kim and Moses Ahmad and gained quick recognition for its flagship product, ZM2000. Liberty identified a niche opportunity to provide essential components that enhanced the efficiency and performance of food processing machinery. Despite achieving high sales figures in the first 2 years of operation, the company faced challenges in converting the revenue into profits due to reasons like high production costs, operational overheads, and market competition. Hence, the founders and the financial manager of the company requested a financial analysis to analyze the financial performance of the company and the potential impacts of automating some parts of the manufacturing process. Here are the project tasks. The first one is to provide an analysis of the break-even point for Liberty in both 2022 and 2023 and calculate the quantity and value of sales required for the company to achieve the targeted profit of 200,000 ringgit in 2024. The second task is to assess the potential impacts of variable costs fluctuating by 10% in 2024 on the company's sales, revenue, and profitability. The third task is to explore the potential effects of automation on the company's costs and profits, including identifying relevant accounting concepts to explain these possibilities. Lastly, the fourth task is to identify and address two potential non-financial issues that the company could encounter as a consequence of adopting automation. I will now pass the floor to Wei-Neng, who will present the first question.
Okay, so for question 1A, we are required to find a break-even point for year 2022 and year 2023 for Liberty Sendirian Berhad respectively. So both years have a break-even point of 297,085 units. So how do we calculate this break-even point? First, we get the 3,642,180 and divide it with our marginal cost of $12.25. So that will end up with 297,085 units. As for break-even point in dollars, is shown in the slides there. Although there may be a little bit of difference in terms of the values, but at the end of the day, both years have the same amount of break-even point, the same break-even point in terms of units and value. For units, it's 297,085, and for value is $10,406,228.57. Now, moving on to question 1B. In question 1B, we are required to find the quantity and value of sales required to achieve a target profit of 200,000. So for the sales quantity, the number of units required to achieve a target profit of 200,000 is 313,648 units. So this is calculated by dividing 3,842,180 by the marginal cost of $12.25. And as for the value of sales required to achieve their target profit of 200,000, the value of sales is $10,977,680. This is calculated by taking the number of units required to achieve the target profit and multiplying it by the value per unit. So that ends up with the final value given in the slides.
Hi, my name is Joel and I'll be talking about question 2. Question 2 asks us, what amount of sales are needed in order to hit a targeted profit of 200,000 ringgit if variable costs were to either increase or decrease by 10%, assuming that there are no changes or alterations to the fixed cost or the selling price. Profit Scenario 1. This scenario talks about the 10% increase in variable costs. To start, we first have to find out what the new variable cost would be. This is done by taking the original value of RM22.75 and then adding it with 10% of RM22.75. This equals to RM22.75 plus RM2.275, which totals out to RM25.025. Next, we have to look for the new contribution margin per unit. To do that, we need to take our selling price, which is RM35, and subtract that with our new variable cost, which was RM25.025. This totals out to RM9.975, which is our new contribution margin per unit. With that, we can now find our new required sales revenue. First, we have to take the total fixed cost and add that with the targeted profit, and then divide that with the new contribution margin per unit, which would be 3,642,180 ringgit plus 200,000 divided by RM9.975. This comes out to a total of 385,180.95 units sold. Based on the calculations shown, we can see that if there was a 10% increase in variable costs, the company would need to sell at least 385,200 units to achieve the targeted profit of 200,000 ringgit. Profit Scenario 2. This scenario talks about the 10% decrease in variable costs. Similar to the first scenario, we first need to find our new variable cost per unit. First, we have to take RM22.75 again, but this time we subtract 10% of it. This equates to RM22.75 minus RM2.275. This means our new variable cost is RM20.475. With that, we can now look for our new contribution margin per unit. Again, we take the selling price of 35 ringgit and deduct that with our new variable cost of RM20.475. This totals out to RM14.525. This lets us find the required sales revenue. This is done by taking the total fixed cost and adding it with the targeted profit, and then dividing it with the new contribution margin per unit, which is 3,642,180 ringgit plus 200,000 ringgit divided by RM14.525. This comes out to a total of 264,521.86 units sold. Based on the calculations shown, we can see that if there was a 10% decrease in variable costs, the company would need to sell at least 264,522 units to achieve the targeted profit of RM200,000 ringgit.
Hi, my name is Yuan and I will be explaining question 3, which is clearly explain the potential effects of automation in terms of cost and profits. The team must address the possible increase or decrease in total cost and profitability from automation. The application of relevant accounting concepts is critical in explaining these possibilities. So, the first potential impact to consider is that the implementation of automation often involves a significant capital investment. This investment leads to higher fixed costs, which encompass expenses such as depreciation, maintenance, and potential financing costs for the new equipment. Take depreciation as an example. The new machines have a useful life for only 10 years. The company will need to account for depreciation expenses each year over this period, which will contribute to higher fixed costs. Now, moving on to the next potential impact, which is cost reduction. Automation typically shifts costs from variable to fixed, so it's crucial to understand how this change affects overall financial performance. This shift can help reduce variable costs, which increased in 2023 compared to the previous year, and potentially boost profit. Automation can lower costs by cutting down on labor expenses associated with manual production processes. By replacing manual labor with automated machinery, the company can save on wages, bonuses, or even training costs. Additionally, automated systems often have higher accuracy and consistency, resulting in less waste and more efficient use of materials. This efficiency further reduces the variable cost per unit. Overall, While automation requires an upfront investment, the long-term benefits of lower variable costs can significantly enhance profitability. Next is the effect on contribution margin. When the variable cost is lowered, the contribution margin increases. The contribution margin is calculated as the selling price per unit minus the variable cost per unit. It represents how much each unit sold contributes to covering the fixed cost and generating profit. The formula, as we can see on the right, is contribution margin per unit equals to selling price per unit minus variable cost per unit. A higher contribution margin means each unit sold contributes more to covering fixed costs and generating profit. This directly boosts overall profitability once fixed costs are covered. Now I will pass it on to Jing'an to continue the next potential impact.
Moving on is the effect on the break-even point. The break-even point is where total revenue equals total costs, meaning there is no profit or loss. It is calculated using the formula break-even point equals fixed cost divided by contribution margin per unit. Since automation reduces variable costs, which increases the contribution margin per unit, the break-even point decreases. This means that Liberty, Cinder and Bahat can cover its fixed and variable costs by selling fewer units, enabling the company to start generating profits sooner. Each additional unit sold will then contribute directly to profit. By reaching the break-even point faster, the company improves its cash flow and overall financial health.
Hello everyone, my name is Omar Azim and today I'd like to discuss two key non-financial challenges Liberty may encounter as they move towards implementing automation in their operations. As you can see, the two issues we have chosen as a group is employee resistance and morale and training and skills development. Employee resistance and morale. First, the introduction of automation could lead to concerns among their employees about job security. As automated processes replace certain roles or tasks previously performed by humans, some staff may feel threatened by these new technologies. This could break resistance of changes, decrease motivation, and lower morale across the workforce. Training and skills development. The second major challenge is ensuring that employees have the necessary skills to operate and maintain the new automated systems effectively. Implementing automation will require comprehensive training and upskilling programs to help the workforce adapt. Failure to invest properly in training could lead to inefficient utilization of the automated systems, hindering the productivity gains they aim to achieve. How can Liberty address these potential issues? As we have discussed, adopting automation could lead to challenges around employee resistance and morale, as well as training and skills development. However, with the right approach, the company can effectively address these potential issues. Starting off with employee resistance and morale. To tackle concerns about job security and change resistance, Liberty needs to engage with its employees early in the automation process. Clear and transparent communication about the rationale and benefit behind this initiative is key. The company should also address employee concerns openly and offer support services like counseling to help them cope with these changes. Additionally, implementing incentives, rewards, or recognition programs for those who embrace automation can foster a more positive attitude towards change. Moving on to training and skills development. On the training front, a thorough skill assessment will allow Liberty to identify gaps and develop targeted training programs. The company must allocate adequate resources for hands-on training sessions, simulations, and continuous learning opportunities. Established mentorship programs can also be highly effective, leveraging Liberty's experienced employees and subject matter experts to guide colleagues in upskilling for the new automated systems.
I will now summarize the answers to all the questions addressed. For question 1A, both years 2022 and 2023 have the same break-even point, which is 297,082 units. And for 1B, sales quantity required to achieve the targeted profit of Rm200,000 in 2024 is 313,668 units. Next, for question 2, if variable cost increased by 10%, the sales revenue required would be 13,481,333 ringgit and 25 cents. And if the variable cost decreased by 10%, the required sales revenue will fall to 9,258,265 ringgit and 10 cents. Moving on to the question 3. The potential impacts of automation on the company's cost and profitability are increased fixed cost, cost reduction, higher contribution margin, and a lower break-even point. Lastly, for question 4, the potential non-financial issues the company could face after adopting automation is employee resistance to change and lower morale, and challenges in training and skills development. Thank you for listening to our presentation. That's all from us.